then, 20 years old, hair cut short, bright eyes, a heart filled with invisible fear and pride. Our homeland was occupied. Villages were destroyed. People were driven from the very homes they were born in. The cries, the bombs, the blazing fires, like a symphony of hell in the ears of the enemy. But for me, I was born into that man-made hell. I love the land where I was born. I love the people. And I volunteered to sacrifice for this land. I enlisted. No one forced me. I thought I would protect my country, my village, and the dreams of youth I hadn't even had time to dream. The deeper we marched into the battlefield, the clearer the horrors of war became. Blood, fire, death, despair. Our marches through ancient forests and poisonous swamps became paths lined with silent ghosts. So many never made it through, not because of enemy bullets, but because of disease, malaria, traps. There were days with no rice to eat, no sunlight to be seen, and slowly despair crept into our bones. But every time we saw our people suffer, we burned with rage again, ready to fight to the very last drop of blood. We lived each day as if it were our last, clinging to the hope of peace and independence. And finally, the war ended. We came home. There weren't many of us left. I thought someone would be waiting. I thought there would be cheers, warm hugs, a familiar voice calling my name. But no. Home was no longer the same. The village had changed. The houses were different. Old faces had moved away. The children I once carried in my arms had grown up. They called me uncle, but had no idea who I was. No one talked about the war anymore. People were busy. Busy surviving, busy making money, busy with things that were real, close, and urgent. I became just an old man, living alone in a small house at the edge of the village. Each morning I watered a few little plants. Each afternoon I sat by the roadside tea stand, watching motorbikes pass. Now and then someone would ask what I used to do. I was a soldier. I'd say. They'd nod politely, then go back to their own conversations. Rarely did they ask more. It wasn't heartlessness. It's just the world had moved on, and I was still standing in an old place. Sometimes I asked myself, was it worth it? To be forgotten? To return with nothing? I've asked myself that many times. But on quiet nights when I wake in the dark, to silence, not sirens, not explosions, not screams, I breathe in and think. I don't blame anyone. I chose this path, and I made it back alive. The country is at peace. The people are free. Isn't that what we fought for? Each night I light an incense stick, place it in the earth, and speak to those I once fought beside, the ones who never came home. I tell them about life now. about the flower blooming by my door, about the dream I had last night. I don't need anyone to hear, I just want to remember I am still a soldier, even if no one calls me that anymore.